November 3, 1975. A quiet lab at the Stanford Research Institute, SRI, in Menlo Park, California. Pat Price, a retired Burbank police officer, closes his eyes. All he gets are geographic coordinates: 50 degrees 25 minutes north, 78 degrees 55 minutes east. For 20 minutes, he describes a top-secret Soviet military base in Semipalatinsk, Kazakhstan. He specifically mentions a 60-foot wheeled giant crane, an object no U.S. spy agency had ever detected. The CIA later confirms its existence with KH-9 spy satellite photos. Price works for Project SCANATE. It will soon become known as Stargate. It all starts in 1972, at SRI's Menlo Park facilities. Two physicists, Puthoff and Russell Targ, land their first CIA contract, $50,000 to test a phenomenon they call remote viewing. Its initial code name, Project SCANATE. Their first test subject is Ingo Swann, a New York artist who invents the coordinate remote viewing (CRV) method. Give a subject map coordinates, and let them visit the location mentally. In 1978, the Army launches the military application at Fort Meade, Maryland, Gondola Wish, later renamed Grill Flame. In 1983, the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, takes control, rebranding it Center Lane. The program runs on roughly $500,000 a year, with 6 full-time military viewers on staff. It becomes officially known as Stargate in 1991. According to the September 1995 Air Report, available in the CIA's FOIA reading room, the program's total 23-year budget ran between $20 and $25 million. November 28, 1995. The CIA officially declassifies Project Stargate and presents its official story to the media and Congress. According to the CIA, the $20 million program was a complete failure. The viewers never produced operationally useful intelligence. Their results were no better than random chance. The CIA adds that any statistical effect noted in some analyses was too small to use, and the methodology was riddled with bias. That same day, ABC News airs a segment where Stargate viewers try to describe the contents of sealed envelopes live on air. Their results are mediocre. The media eviscerates the program. They call it a waste of taxpayer money. A Cold War farce. The CIA claims Stargate never produced operationally useful intelligence. Here's what actually happened. The SRI International Document, Experimental Psi Research, Contract 1472-72, declassified in 1995, says the opposite. This technical report confirms Pat Price's description of the Semipalatinsk base was used to redirect the CIA's KH-9 spy satellites toward new targets in November 1975. Next, the CIA claims the results were no better than random chance. But the Air Report, an evaluation the CIA itself commissioned in September 1995, concludes there was a small, statistically significant effect beyond chance. Translation: the subjects performed better than luck. The CIA never mentioned this result in its 1995 public statements. The CIA's Project Stargate declassification package holds more contradictions. Verified successes: the CIA ignored the approximate location of the falling Skylab in 1981, and a 1979 description of the Soviet submarine base at Severodvinsk. But the most important document had not yet been found. The evidence sits in plain sight. The CIA Project Stargate declassification package, over 2,000 documents declassified November 28, 1995, available in the CIA's FOIA reading room, contains session reports, accuracy assessments, and correspondence with U.S. intelligence agencies. The SRI International Experimental Psi Research Report, Contract 1472-72, declassified 1995, confirms Pat Price described 9 verifiable details of the Soviet Semipalatinsk base on November 3, 1975. The CIA used that data to redirect its KH-9 spy satellites to new targets. The DIA Project Gondola Wish a Grill Flame Program files, 1978 to 1983, National Archives, show 6 sergeants and officers at Fort Meade trained in Ingo Swann's Coordinate Remote Viewing (CRV) method. Their mission: locate Soviet submarines and hostages. Documented, verified successes include the approximate location of the re-entering Skylab in 1981, the 1979 description of the Severodvinsk Soviet submarine base, later confirmed by satellite, and a partial, accurate description of an American hostage held in the Middle East in 1980. The September 1995 Air Report, commissioned by the CIA, analyzed 20 years of program data. Statistician Jessica Utz, then at UC Davis, concluded the effect was real. Psychologist Ray Hyman of the University of Oregon criticized the study's methodology, but did not dispute the statistical effect. In 2015, Edwin May, who directed the Stargate program from 1985 to 1995, published a meta-analysis of 3,000 Stargate experiments in the peer-reviewed journal Frontiers in Human Neuroscience. That study confirmed a statistically significant effect. The real revelation is not that the CIA tested remote viewing. It's that the agency used it operationally for 23 years. Then it deliberately hid and discredited valid, usable results to shut the file down for good. The SRI Contract 1472-72 report confirms the CIA used Pat Price's data to redirect its KH-9 spy satellites in November 1975. But in its November 28, 1995, public statements, the CIA flatly denied any operational use of Stargate data. Worse, the Air Report, commissioned by the CIA itself, concluded there was a small, statistically significant effect beyond chance. The CIA buried that result entirely. It only quoted the report's section claiming the program was operationally ineffective. Add this devastating detail: Pat Price, the man who described the Semipalatinsk base, died suddenly of a heart attack in Las Vegas in December 1975. That was just 2 months after his most high-profile, verified remote viewing session. Inference: the available evidence suggests no cause other than the official ruling. But the timing raises one question that remains unanswered. Stargate was not a crackpot program. It was a fully operational intelligence program. Its results were deliberately erased. The agency did not want to explain a phenomenon that defied all classical scientific understanding. Today, the full Stargate dataset remains available to anyone in the CIA's FOIA reading room. But almost no scientists dare analyze it. The stigma of studying psi phenomena in mainstream academia is too great. In 2015, Edwin May published his meta-analysis of 3,000 Stargate experiments in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience. The study confirmed a statistically significant effect. It received almost no coverage in mainstream media. In 2017, President Donald Trump declassified files on ATIP, the DIA's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. ATIP ran from 2007 to 2012, studying unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP. The declassified files show ATIP included research on 2 topics directly tied to Stargate's work: biological effects on witnesses and zero-point field propulsion. According to academic sources cited in declassified archives, formal psi research continues quietly in at least 3 U.S. university laboratories. The CIA has never explained one critical fact: if Stargate was a complete, useless failure, why did the agency use Pat Price's remote viewing data to redirect its most advanced spy satellites in 1975? Between 1972 and 1995, the CIA and DIA spent between $20 and $25 million on Project Stargate. It was not a parlor trick. It was a fully operational remote viewing program, used to spy on Soviet military targets for 23 years. Declassified government documents and the CIA's own independent air report confirm a statistically significant effect beyond random chance, an effect the agency deliberately buried from the public in 1995. Today, the Stargate data remains officially unexplained. Quiet research continues, out of the public eye. What if Stargate was not the Cold War farce we were taught to laugh at? What if it was a program that brushed up against a phenomenon mainstream science still cannot explain? Subscribe to The Truth They Hide so you don't miss the next episode.